Well, good evening, everyone around the world. This is Dr. Bill Williams coming to you from Swanee, Georgia. We're here for a message on opening day. Opening day of what, you might ask? Well, it's football season here in the South, around the USA. College football is revving up, and this is the first week of full time college football. My team, Auburn Tigers, are playing the Baylor Bears, and we're here to talk about the correlation between relaunching a new company and a football team getting started with a new season. Yeah, it's opening day, and pretty soon it's going to be opening day for our new company. So I want to talk with you a bit today about the anticipation. We are excited. We are revved up and ready for a new season, both in business and in sport. Autumn has arrived, my favorite time of year. The chill is in the air. You walk outside and you take a breath, and it's chilled, not the summer heat. Down in Georgia, we have the summer heat. And so you can tell when the new season arrives, when the weather starts to change, and it's refreshing. Yes, we're talking about Auburn versus Baylor tonight on national TV. We're talking about American football at its best, the SEC against the Big 12. Kind of reminds me of our new company and how its impending launch coming in September with new information about what's it all about. We're going to find out about the Auburn Tigers tonight. We're going to find out about our new company in September. So a lot about what's going on is called the unknown, right? We wonder, will it be the same? Will it be better than before? Hopefully it won't be worse than it was. Those are the questions we all have. Talking about the past season, Auburn was 5-7 last year, disappointment. They've been that way for 3 or 4 years as they struggle with coaching changes, upgrading of team players. It was not a winning year last year for the Auburn Tigers. Why? Because the players were not up to their potential. They didn't play as well as they could have. They fumbled, they threw interceptions, they committed penalties, they missed field goals. When you don't score points, you lose the game. They didn't score enough points. Yeah, they could run up and down the field and do success during the middle of the game, but at the end, near the end zone, they didn't score. Therefore, they didn't win. Our former companies, just like Auburn, they underperformed. Plenty of poorly designed plays, inept team performances. They've been cataloged, many fumbles, even interceptions. We missed our goals. We even were assessed penalties because of the errors that were committed. But that's all in the past. And this new season, everybody has heightened anticipation for something wonderful, new, and different. We have a seasoned head coach, both in their football team and in our new company. A seasoned head coach, a leader that's done it before with demonstrated success. Now, the ineffective leadership has been fired. A new offensive coordinator is on board. Stellar recruiting classes have added depth. Dynamic portal additions have been made to fill those areas of need. Whatever was missing from the previous team, the previous business, the company of old, have been improved and replaced. So we have to go into this with a game plan. We have to go into the new season with a game plan. If you're going to win, you have to have strategic matchups. And it's always good to know your opponent. It's always good to know your own self. If you can put good on your team against the bad of the other team, you're going to win 90% of the time. If you only match up the good against good, you're only going to win 50% of the time. And unfortunately, if your bad players match up against the opponent's good players, you're going to lose 90% of the time. So it's a matter of having a better system, but also better players, better people on your team in order to win. In football, they call it X's and O's or Jimmys and Joes. The X's and O's are the plays you design to defeat the other team. The Jimmies and Joes are the personnel, the tackles, the guards, the centers, the halfbacks, the quarterbacks, cornerbacks, linebackers. The Jimmies and Joes are the men and women of a team, those on the team that lead, that manage, those in the trenches who recruit, who sell, who face the public and build the business, sell the business. So we have to have the right Jimmies and Joes. The founders are the workforce to move the product. Maybe we have some exciting things that will help the Jimmies and Joes. Maybe the X's and O's will make it easier for the Jimmies and Joes. Could be that AI could be as good as a Jimmy and a Joe. AI could be the one that helps you as much as your fellow linebacker when you're trying to tackle a problem. In business, you need a strategy to win, a solid business plan. You have to have vision, you have to have mission statements, you have to have goals. Everything in business revolves around prior planning before you launch. A lot goes on behind the scenes that most people who've never run a business have no concept of. Financial pro formas, HR plans, how to hire, how to train, how to retain good people on your team. You have to have an operations plan. What are they going to do every day to grow the business, to make things move forward smoothly? Standard operating procedures, SOPs. You even have to have research and development to stay ahead of the competition. If you're not moving forward, you're not moving toward profitability. You won't be profitable unless you can defeat the opposition on a future basis. Now, what about going on offense? If you're a business, if you're a football team, how are they connected? How are they related? There can be a power offense or a finesse offense. One could be that you're an application company that has one application, one powerful application. It could be like your Microsoft in the beginning, and all they had was MS-DOS, an operating system. Then they got into other things. They got into Word, Excel, PowerPoint. That makes them a finesse company, not just a power company in terms of product development, product lines, opportunities. And so in a football team, you don't win with just a good fullback. You don't win with just one good center. Yeah, they could be as good as anybody ever was, but if they don't have somebody to throw the ball to a receiver, they're not going to be able to complete a pass. You have to have a team. You have to have people playing in every situation, every part of the field. All 11 players on a football team have to be doing an excellent job for the play to succeed. One bad result can end up blowing the play up, and your X's and O's get destroyed with no points scored, right? So play selection makes a difference. A play, actually, when you design one, is designed to defeat an opponent on every play. Think about that. A well-designed play will defeat the opponent every time it's run. That's if you're 100% in every assignment. In business, everybody on the team has to perform, from top management to the bottom line people that scrub the floors. In a business, you have different options. You could run or pass in a football game. In a business, you could have multiple softwares, multiple applications. In a football team, you got multiple sets. Different plays look different, and you could run different options off of each set. You could run, you could pass, you could do an end around, you could do a power up the middle. So it looks the same to a defense, but you can run different plays off that one set. When you have businesses, you can have software applications, AI embedded applications, marketing automation. You can have sales funnels and AI Salesforce bots that mimic the voice of people, developed with outstanding AI so that the customer on the other end of the phone cannot tell the difference between a person and an AI bot. They're that good now that they're becoming hard to distinguish. So you can be a football team of different types, run or pass. You can do both. But maybe the most optimum is the run pass option offense, where you have on every play, the quarterback is either going to have 2 options to run or 4 options to pass, and the defense has to think about 7 different options, 6 different options for every play before they make a read, before they make a decision of which way they're going to go to try to defend that play. That's why the RPO is so hard to stop, because the defense has to think harder. In business, if you've got both AI marketing and mobile apps all bundled into one product, it makes it hard for the opposition, the competition, to defend against, because you've got flexibility, you've got multiple options. So what we want to do is have the best offense that we can have when we're attacking the business front. What about defense? What about the people that look at being successful by not being defeated? There's 2 types of defense that I want to discuss. One is a read and react defense. That's where you size up the competition and you deploy countermeasures. The best way to do that is to be adaptable, to be able to adapt to change. When you see something coming at you, then you can react in a defensive way. If you want to grow in the future, you have to be scalable to meet the challenges that come from growth. Unbridled growth can be a detriment. We saw that once in the past company where they grew so fast, but the processors couldn't handle it, and so they stopped it. We saw that things got out of hand because we grew too fast, too quick, without having the guardrails on the side to take care of what happens. Well, we need to read and react in a way that prevents that from happening in the future. There's another type of defense called the blitz and blow up concept. That's where you're offensively defensive. You're so aggressive that you're disruptive, that you make your defense so good that nobody can keep up with you. How is it possible to be an offensive defense? Here's my thought. Make your product simple to use, make it very inexpensive compared to other products of similar type, make it more easily accessible, and make it lucrative to sell. Does that sound like a formula that you've heard before? That formula, designed by Ashman Farr, is the new company's goal, I have a feeling, is to employ those same principles that we know about: simple, inexpensive, accessible, and lucrative to the people who are the founders, so that when it expands to the benefit of all who are already members, founders. You blitz and blow it up. You're disruptive. You're very aggressive in changing the name of the game from the way it was to a new way of thinking, a new pattern. So let's talk about the numbers. Football is a 60-minute game. It's a game that you play it, you've got 60 minutes. You usually will get between 60 and 70 plays per game per team. So you've only got a set number of options of X's and O's played by your Jimmies and Joes to get the job done. In our business, our new company will have players. We've got management, we've got founders, we've got sales team, we've got systems, applications, platforms to aid us in that, which would be our X's and O's. We've got to employ the best Jimmies and Joes, the best X's and O's to get the job done. If you talk about a season in football, it's a 12-game season in college football. And that 12-game season is kind of like our 12 months of the year. And so this is a new season for football. It's a new season for business. The next year, we're going to have 12 months. We're going to have a certain number of plays that we can employ per month. And, as time goes on, we've got to use the X's and O's by the Jimmies and Joes to get to the point where we come out a winner. We want to be a winner. Everybody wants to win. In football, you get to play 12 games, and if you win the majority of your games, you get to go to a bowl game. A bowl game is a reward for a job well done. And so the winning teams vie for the championship, and the most successful winning teams get to go to the national championship playoff. Only one wins the championship. They become the unicorn. They become the top player team of the year. We want to be the unicorn. Our new company wants to win. We want to move beyond the season of normal, being a 6-6 team. We want to be a winning team. We want to go to the championship playoffs and hopefully win the entire thing. We want to become a unicorn status team. That only happens if the X's and O's and the Jimmies and Joes are up to par, up to snuff with the best of the best. Average won't win, average won't do. We've seen what average does, and we know average doesn't lead to being more than 5 and 7 or unsuccessful by many people's eyes. And so it's a new season every year. We get to start over. We get to choose what's next. And for you and me, we've chosen to maintain the status quo, being a founder, following Ash. And because of that, we're in the game. So that's really the question I have for you out there listening and seeing this today is, the question is, are you a player or are you an observer, a fan in the stands? I choose to be a player. I choose to stay on the team. I choose to be in the trenches. I'm not the quarterback, but I would like to be a star receiver. I would like to be a halfback who runs for 100 yards in a game, 1,000 yards in a season. I want to be successful. I know you do too. So my encouragement to you is pick the place you want to play on the team, play as hard as you can for as long as you can, and let's see if we can all come out and make this a unicorn company at the end of the day. This is Dr. Bill Williams signing off. We'll look forward to talking to you again as the season progresses.